YouTube, Twitch. What's up? This is Zero Nation, and for this live, I will be doing a review on the Matrix movie overall. Just as my thoughts on it, just on the Matrix movie. And plus, for the second, I will be doing a review on the Hawkeye show. What I think the future of Marvel or the Marvel shows just might bring, in my opinion. Because, like for me, in my opinion, and stuff like that, like I actually think, in my opinion, in my opinion, right, based on the movies, the shows, based on the movies and shows and stuff like that, I think the future might be bright. In my opinion, I think the future will be right. In my opinion, though, but then it's like some people just might think differently. But like in my opinion, um, but I do think the Marvel shows could be good. In my opinion, it could be better based on the writing and stuff like that. That's how it could be better. I think, in my opinion, it could be better. So, some people think, in my opinion, like the Marvel shows is perfect, but then the Marvel shows not perfect. But the Marvel shows could be better, in my opinion. Just like in my opinion, and stuff like that. Like I think, in my opinion, it could be good, bad, everything between. Like kind of like I think some of the Netflix shows. I think, in my opinion, it's better than the Disney Plus and Marvel shows. And but they said they'll make some good. The Gundam show, I think they're supposed to be live action, but I think with news on it, but I'm not sure. That's just true. Trying to see Spider-Man No Way Home box office. Let's add up. And but I think, in my opinion, that the Matrix movie came out just about at the wrong time. I think, in my opinion, because the Matrix movie should have came out like in January, I think, or something like that. Because I think, in my opinion, it would have came out like earlier. The movie probably make more money. I think, in my opinion, but I saw it on HBO Max though. But the movie was, I think I think that the movie coming is coming after Spider-Man No Way Home. It was kind of like a bad thing at the same time, because that movie should have came out. I think, in my opinion, a little bit. Sound like a week after, I think, Christmas. I think, in my opinion, it would have been good. And that kind of like my beef on it. Be because, like, in my opinion, stuff like that. Like, if you want your movie to be like successful, like and plus, No Way Home was coming out. I see that 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 kind of might have been like the wrong time to come out, like a week after a blockbuster. Because, like, in my opinion, right, for a movie, for movie like No Way Home to come out after a blockbuster, I think that kind of was like um a bad decision. I think, in my opinion, a bad decision for them to have it. Like, I think, in my opinion, to have it after No Way Home, a week after No Way Home, but it should have had like a week before or two, and that would have been better for the box office. I think sound like prospects, and that's kind of like my thing about it. And kind of like for me, right? And kind of like for me, right? There's been a disappointment like that, which I think could have been good or a bad thing. But they got a Hollywood Reporter article based on No Way Home. I am waiting on it for it to come up. Hmm. But kind of like I think, in my opinion, right, is like what and kind of like I think, in my opinion, well, could be good, could be bad, could everything in between. Which I think, in my opinion, could be good or bad, but could be bad, everything in between. Which I think for some people, right, could be a good or a bad thing, but which I think, in my opinion, right, which I think, in my opinion, right, of my opinion, was some people might like it, might not like it, but I think the No Way Home movie is actually a good movie, and probably give it a 4 out of 5, in my opinion. Definitely anybody who wasn't here last week, who wasn't here last week, who wasn't here last week for them to see, which I think for me, right, that you wasn't here last week for them to be able to hear what I give the movie rated for last week. It was 4 out of 5. That for anybody who don't know. But for this live stream, I I will be giving them just my review of the Matrix movie, what I think about the dialogue, what I think about the choreography, dialogue, what I think about the cast in the movie, what I think about the changes and stuff in the movie. That could be good. And 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 kind of for me, right, then with the dialogue in the movie and stuff like that, I will talk about that later. But then I bring this article and stuff like that based on the movie, everything else like that. And kind of like for me, right, where I actually think of some stuff. So like some people think that is that the MCU shows and movies are masterpieces, but kind of like for me, um I kind of I kind of get to tell on people is that the MCU shows is not masterpieces. The MCU shows do not in my opinion, right, give the characters justice based on a certain situation. because oh, what's up? I actually like the Matrix movie. Um, and what's up, Diaz? And and the challenge for me, right, which I do like some of the No Way Home stuff. If you wasn't here last week, Diaz, I actually give the No Way Home a 4 out of 5. But since but since in my opinion, I wasn't like some fanboys telling me some of the movie is perfect. Because like in my opinion, right? I do know the movie is not perfect. I do know the movie. I do know the movie. Dude got that like and try for me. I do know the movie got their on flaws in the movie, man. And that's kind of like the thing. M Me right as a fan of both companies is like sound like a fanboy in the MCU would would not understand that in my opinion if I were to say that to him because like me and you both know if we were to bring like an MCU fanboy right now or girl inside his ice cream right now and tell them that the MCU show is not perfect. They were trying to argue. They were trying to argue. They were trying to make excuses for the MCU. But that's what if it was a DC movie. They would have bring up all the criticism, all the dialogue, all the stuff that won't make sense. Man, boy, ooh, and it kind of like the thing, right? Later on in the screen, I I will be doing the review on the Hawkeye show compared to DCU. What the DCU do better than the shows do better than Hawkeye, and this will kind of test everybody fandom just to see that. Because like we all know, dealing with MCU fans, they will try to come in and plus defend this show. So we all know that. And but I'm about to bring up the box office for and Merry Christmas, DS man. I hope your Christmas is going good. Merry Christmas. I hope that everybody Christmas and can look at this live later on night or tomorrow or anything like that. I hope the Christmas is going good. The Spider Man, let's read the article. The Spider Man No Way Home become the Sony top grossing pick of all times at the U.S. box office. I reckon so. I reckon so because we all know that Tom Holland wouldn't be able to do it by himself. I think in the third movie, if they would have keep on drawing his way, because like we all know the movies, shows, and everything else like that. Like is that the Tom Holland formula of making his movies, not making a series, would not have do it in my opinion of him keep on making the I got to think in my opinion it wouldn't have worked. So like some people I can see some people in the comments after the video talking something it probably would have worked, but in my opinion it wouldn't have worked in my opinion. Tom Holland keep on making Oh, wait a minute. Oh, a Spider-Man tier list? Okay. If they have it, I will actually do that. Spider-Man No Way Home become the top gross pick of the U.S. box office. And on this the thing. Now, the Spider-Man No Way Home actually made $1 billion without going to China yet. But I think if China get this movie, I think this movie probably could, like in my opinion, pass by 1.3 billion. I think. And but if you look at it, the Black Panther $1 billion was actually unsuccessful. It it was actually more impressive to Black Panther $1 billion than in just this movie. So the Black Panther was a new franchise. Spider Man was not. And this Spider Man needed the other two Spider Mans to help him out in this films. But I'm not hating on it. But the movie was cool though. And for Sony 68 earned $19.7 billion on Christmas Eve, finishing Friday with $405 million in domestic sales and become Sony top grossing title of all time, not adjusted for inflation. Oh shoot, the previous holder was Jumanji Walking to the Jungle 2017. Oh shoot, the one with the Rock. And this actually showed that the Rock and Kevin Hart could sell movies and hold records. Uh, some, some like people could say this secret scene The Rock and plus Kevin Hart, but, that's what this actually showed that The Rock and Kevin Hart just can sell movies, whether we like it or not. And this census show it. The previous record holder was 2017 Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, and it made $404.5 million. Was the first two box office that name sound like that record. To boot, Knowing Home was the verge of crossing $1 billion mark on global box office. Pick will achieve after finishing the north of $900 million worldwide. Okay, I'm good with that. $900 million, a lot of money. If it finished with that, then and that's what, and that's a big accomplishment though. The latest Spice pick is one of the fastest to cross $1 billion threshold. The Avengers Endgame was on a list for 5 days, followed by Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars. Um, shoot, the Star Wars Force Awakens. I actually like that movie, but the No Way Home 11 Day from release, the Spider Man No Expected dominating the Christmas box office, although the same to Universal is no slouch. The 5 day opening of $40 million. Okay, I'm good with that. The Matrix, Resurrection, and The Kingsman, with both which are struggling, are also available. Yeah, I kind of, I kind of understand the reason why The Matrix is struggling. Because the Spider-Man movie is out right now, and this having like a big tadpole that everybody like, man, that is kind of bad in my opinion. Though to be like that, it's kind of bad and good at the same time. But like in my opinion, I think the Spider-Man movie does being like out the same time the Matrix is. Since the Matrix was out so long, that probably hurts it in a while like that. But I don't get it. But everybody different though. And and kind of like in my opinion, that's all I have to say about this article because this article It just summarizing everything that it just summarizes everything I already know. It summarizes everything I know. It's about the MCU. It launches Spider Man, people will come and look at it. And kind of like in my opinion, right? Which I think in my opinion, like everybody's different. Everybody different though. Everybody different in their opinion. Which I do think everybody's different though. But 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 like for me, in my opinion, the this being Spider Man by itself, we all know that this movie will make a whole bunch of money anyway. Yeah, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a good start for Tom Holland, but that is a good start for Tom Holland. But we know, like, it took 3 movies for you to do it. That's kind of like the sad thing about it. It's it shouldn't, like, in my opinion, have took 3 movies for you, which I think, in my opinion, that, to get Tom Holland to a point when you got the like, I think, in my opinion, it should not have take 3 movies just for Tom Holland to, like, in my opinion, to be like, I think, in my opinion, to be like the grow up. You look at the Toby series and the Andrew series, those Spider-Mans was growing up and plus mature in one movie. But in some, like in the second and third movie, they just built off what the first movie did. And they put them in high school for so long though, which was the worst thing, which I think that that was the worst decision I think for them to do is put them in high school. Be because, right, if you look at it, that the Toby Spider Man and Andrew Spider Man was not like I think in high school for about 2 movies. It wasn't just in one, which I think, in my opinion, right. If you want to put them in high school and stuff like that, and that's what, and that's you, that's the company. But if you look at it, they should have put them like in the first movie. If you want to put them like in the junior senior year in high school, like in the first movie, I was cool. But like in the second movie, they should have put him like him struggling to go to college, struggling to adjust, I think, something like that. Then he was learning near the end of the movie to a balance to be a superhero and being the class and stuff like that. That would have been better, which I think, in my opinion. But the thing about it, which I think that some other people might not be able to just to listen when I say that is like, I think the Tom Holland Spider Man took too long to grow up. I think, in my opinion, it took too many movies, and that is my opinion. It took me, like, I think, because the too many movies that make Tom Holland, which I think, in my opinion, grow up, which is bad and stuff. I don't like it. That's true. It's their opinion. It's their opinion if they like it or don't like it. But they know at the end of the day that I'm right. Yep. Like Toby and Spider Man too. And sound like for me, right, in my opinion, based on the movies for the MCU shows is going, ooh, I don't I don't like some of the choices and writing they doing for some of these shows. That is not like some of the choices in writing the casting they're doing is actually good. Yep, yep. And for the bad thing about the a home movie that I criticize is like and that's my opinion, and this might be controversial. Just for some people who is fanboys of the MCU in this movie, they should have never killed Aunt May. They should have never killed Aunt May because, like, I think, in my opinion, they had other ways of making Tom Holland um feel pain. I think it's on that besides Aunt May. That was kind of I've done the decision. That we could have think about that. And for that speech she made, that speech was never meant for her. And kind of like people can say it is, it's not, but we all know that in my opinion, people agree or disagree. It's like we all know, right? There was Spider Man, there was Spider Man, Batman, everything else like that. It's like we all know, right? Dealing with movies, shows, and sound like people could agree or disagree. We all know in this movie is that Aunt May, in my opinion, should not have got killed. We could like it, people, and people could like it or just disagree with me on that point. But we all know is that the Aunt May death was too rushed because, like, in my opinion, where is Uncle Ben in this universe? Man, and kind of like my opinion, dealing with some of the shows on Netflix. No, not Netflix. About Disney Plus. Um, it was kind of it was kind of good. The Hawkeye show is like it's like second to third best show, and that's not saying much. And that's not saying much in my opinion because you look at the Disney Plus shows, and we got a Kitty Cat from Marvel coming back, everything else like that. And let's just try to go to the Spider Man list. That oh yeah, that is true. The Kingpin, the Kingpin from like the Netflix series, he would have killed him, I think, and that's true right there. And because kind of I think up in MCU, it is like I think the MCU is trying to soften up, which I think in my opinion the Kingpin, which is a bad decision, because he doing some stuff. He would do some superhero stuff up in that show, but they never show the consequences. What made him the Kingpin, which I think in my opinion that Southside person I play on, my friend Vance D'Onofrio, he played Kingpin good. I like him. I like him. And kind of my opinion and stuff like that is like yeah, yeah, and he beat the Daredevil nearly to death, and Daredevil just got powers. Daredevil got powers, and you telling me that Kate, no offense to Kate, she don't got no powers or nothing. He gave in my opinion the Kingpin the hard way to go. He gave the Kingpin a hard the Kingpin gave Daredevil a hard way to go, and and Daredevil got senses. He can fight and stuff like that. And you telling me what a trick arrow is that Kate Bishop, um, like in my opinion, beats him? That didn't make no sense in my opinion. Because you gotta make Kate Bishop beat him, right? Make her beat him like I think. Ooh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Make the writing seem good, man. And that's not good, man. Make the writing look, man. I don't get it. I don't get it in my opinion. Yep. After he, oh yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that because if she would have had powers and stuff like that, and she could have taken the hits, sound like the Luke Cage or some kind of Iron Fist who was trained to take hits and stuff like that, I would have understand her getting up and not bleeding a little bit. But she don't even got powers, and that's kind of like the messed up thing about it. Kind of like people like in my opinion make excuses for her during the episode. But the thing about it, the writing that on the writing, in my opinion, did not make her like I think in my opinion, good up in the Hawkeye show. And this is the Spider-Man No Way Home, the on the Spider-Man movies rating system right here, just for everybody. Um, it got masterpiece. I mean, great, decent, and terrible. Ooh, now this is gonna make some people mad when I the do my rating system. Oh yeah, just Spider-Man should have fought. Oh yeah, the Kingpin, not her. At the end of the scene, no one. Yeah, that's why I try to figure out why he wasn't there. Yeah. Where were you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Spider-Man 2. It's a masterpiece already. It's a masterpiece. If anybody around who rank the Spider-Man movies who don't put Spider-Man in masterpiece, Spider-Man 2 in masterpiece, and they don't appreciate the character of in my opinion, Spider-Man. If you know the character of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 is the ticiest, is the head, is everything that on the Spider-Man is. Man, Spider-Man, yep. Me and you just there. Me and you is the same thing right there. Let's see the next movie that it's Amazing Spider-Man. I'll put it under. I wouldn't say great, but it's decent. It's decent for a first movie. That's mine. It would have made more sense because Spider-Man got regeneration. Oh yeah. If you look at Spider-Man do got a regeneration. Yeah, because let me see. What the word? What was that? No, shucks. Oh, oh yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now. Oh shoot. I put Far From Home. Hmm. Mm, I actually like that one. I like it better than the. I put it under. Okay. Oh, terrible. Oh, wait a minute. I put it decent because because it's better than some movies that I'm about to put down. Oh, I put in a decent though. Far From Home is, wait a minute, it is decent, but the thing about the movies that one of the movies I'm about to put in terrible. It's about to make some people mad if I do it. I put Amazing Spider-Man 2 in terrible. And some, if you just, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, Homecoming, I put it under decent. It's not like the best, but Spider-Man 3, I put those above, I put that in great. Some like people probably get mad at me, but Spider-Man 3 is better than, it's better than Amazing Spider-Man 2, better than Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Far For Homecoming, I think. And put the second movie, um, I put it under, ooh, I'm about to put on, man, I'll put on a decent. Because shoot, you average out terrible and average, and go to decent. Because the movie not great. Because like in Home Far From Home, why would you let, like, in my opinion, Mysterio um get those, man, just the just the more I talk about that movie, I'm about that, man. I'm about to move that movie down a little bit. Kind of like in my opinion, that Spider-Man 1 is good, it's real good, but it's not better than 2. Like when you try to talk about the movie Spider-Man Far From Home and the plot holes, then the MCU fans will try to come through talk with some so you just don't like the character and stuff like that. I say, wait a minute, that's not even a problem with me. That the character of Tom Holland. My problem is the writing. The writing of the shows and stuff that if you look at, because if you look at Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1, the writing is good. And plus the movie built off the first two or something like that, the writing is actually good. Which I think in my opinion it is. It sounds like people could agree or not agree, but but if you agree or not agree, but that's what that is good. Um I put it under amazing. The Spider-Man multiverse is, I put it amazing. It's not a masterpiece, but it's amazing though. Spider-Man No Way Home is the best movie out the series. I put it under um great. I put it under great. That it's not better than multiverse. It's not better than, like in my opinion, Spider-Man 1. And not better than Spider-Man 2. And some like people could agree or disagree. Uh, that's what. That's what, because we all know, right, that is that the first two Spider-Man movies right now, the Tom Holland universe should be in terrible right now. Should be in terrible based on the plot holes, everything like that, what it did. Which I think, in my opinion, should be down there. But that's what. But that's what, in my opinion, I'm just being nice, everything like that, and just not putting on the terrible. Because think about some things in the movie I did like in it, in both movies, but the plot holes in both movies is bad. Because you look at Far From Home, in my opinion, I was 15 once too. Because you cannot get me to give up my glasses that that says what my mentor give me to give to somebody else because you sad. You cannot get me to do that at all at 15. 15, 12, 10, even 5. I wouldn't even give it up. Because for me, I would have kept them glasses all my life. But the thing is like that would show Tom Holland as the soft Spider Man. Like I think in my opinion in that movie. Because we all know that most kids would not have give up them glasses. Whether you want to hear me say it or not. And we all know it's true. And it's sound like people could agree or disagree and stuff like that. But that's what we all know it's true. And that's kind of like my opinion on that. Uh, and plus the next ranking list I got me doing is the Spider-Man villains. Because we know the Spider-Man villains is is good. Spider-Man villain is good. The Spider-Man villains in our movies was actually good in my opinion. And kind of like in my opinion, based on movies, everything like that, some of the villains is actually better than Spider-Man itself, which I think, in my opinion, is a sad thing about it. But which I think, in my opinion, could be a good or a bad thing. But but kind of like for me, right, which I do think could be good or a bad thing. But kind of like for me, um, but but kind of like for me, which I do like, if you look at some of the movies and shows, everything else like that, it's like I'm about to share this on Twitter just see the retro fanboys if they actually like it because man, but it gotta be somebody. It's gonna be somebody up in there, man. Cause it's gonna be somebody up in there who don't like it, which I do think, in my opinion. Yep. And kind of like for me, right, which I do like everything else like that. It's like we all know, like deal with movies, shows, everything else like that. And like we all know, deal with Spider-Man movies and rankings. Ooh, ooh, boy, that's gonna be a whole lot. That's gonna be a whole lot of capping online, bro. Who wants to see my list? It's gonna be a whole lot of capping online about their movies, and that's kind of like me, which I think the MCU fans always just be doing. They do a whole lot of capping for the heroes, which I don't mind. But the thing is, at the same time, at least be like I think in my opinion, at least be truthful about your character as well about the stuff I think, which I think in my opinion, if they could be like stuff everything like that. Merry Christmas, Jason. Merry Christmas. And and kind of like in my opinion and stuff like that, which I think about the Spider-Man that they're trying to find the Spider-Man villain list, because we all know that 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 list is gonna be long, and because we know like some of the most. like athletic. Um, some of the most villains, which I think is actually good. It's not actually they're not actually the whole list, but the thing is, which I do like, in my opinion, some like which I do like in my opinion could be good or a bad thing, but the kind of for me based on the rank list. Delete this row. I'm about to start deleting rows. I think just try not to give these fanboys. Oh yeah. I care about Morbius MJ. The Morbius movie is actually good. The on the Morbius trailers actually a little good. And plus for me, I'm actually hyped for the movie. But the thing about the movie is like I just don't know if the Morbius is part of the MCU or just if Morbius is part of the Sonyverse. That's the thing that people confuse on, and that's why I kind of confuse on as well. If you look at it, uh, that just tries to go to. Oh yeah, I care about the Morbius and stuff like that because the thing about Morbius was one of my underrated villains. There wasn't an animated cartoon, but he's some kind of anti-hero at the same time. But some people might agree, some people might not. But that's just me and my opinion about it. And we got the villain list right here. We got oh shoot. We got elite, great, good, okay, and bad. Oh yeah, it it could introduce Blade though. It could do that. But the thing about I am it it could right it could right in my opinion introduce Blade. But the thing is like I kind of doubt it. Know how the MCU like to keep their characters kind of separate, different, they're from the Sonyverse. Because you look at the let me see, it was the other Sony movie that like on like a Homecoming one. I think the first Spider-Man movie or the second one, they could have introduced in my opinion, that they could have introduced Venom in the first and second Spider-Man Tom Holland movie, but they didn't. And that's kind of like my reservation deal with Sony, which I do think I do have I do got a reservation deal with Sony because we all know that the MCU is kind of selfish with the characters and with their stuff. Because like we can agree or not agree, but you do know that they is selfish with their characters. Whether we like it a minute or not, they is, and that's kind of like my opinion of it because like people could agree or not agree, but we all know like dealing with the MCU, which I do think in my opinion, um I I do I do not have a problem about them being selfish with the characters, but the thing is, I do got a problem with the MCU just being like just average with their villains and their writing, which I think in my opinion. The Green Goblin. Wait a minute, wait. Hey, you talk about when your default Green Goblin is great? Yeah, yeah. which I do think, in my opinion, could be good. Yeah, yeah, he was great though. I give him that. Let me see. What should I give the Lizard though? It got Jamie Foxx Electro. They don't got him updated one. The updated Jamie Foxx Electro was better than the one that was in Amazing Spider-Man. That's the thing. But Madam Web, I gave her great as well. Um, let me see. Let me see what else. Dang, the lizard is okay. Okay, yeah, I give him that. Um, Mysterio, they got Dark Art. Mysterio just was good. He was good. I gave him good. Now Rhino, that character is bad. It is bad. I give Rhino bad because I don't blame the actor that play him. I just I just blame the person who wrote him bad in the movie, which I do think, in my opinion, is a good thing. And kind of like for me, which I do like and don't like, which I do think, in my opinion, is actually good. The Kingpin is great. Yep, I give him great as well. But oh shoot, now Sandman, I like him. I give him good. I give Sandman good, in my opinion. He was actually a good character. I actually like him that. Is it sound like people could agree or disagree with that? That's what you and me both know, that Sandman was good. Oh yeah, Doc Ock is elite. He just in class by himself. And plus, we all know, dealing with this universe, ooh, if they would have had like Doc Ock for his universe, I think the Tom Holland movies would have been better. I think if they would have bring his brand of Toby acting inside of the movie with the writing and stuff, their movies would have been better. I think, in my opinion. But which I think that some people might agree or some people might disagree with that. But that's what the dark art, I think, in my opinion, was actually good. Which I think, in my opinion, could be a good or a bad thing. Which I think, in my opinion, right, the Prowler is good. Yep, yeah, I agree with that. Tunes, which I think, in my opinion, could be, like, in my opinion, kind of good, bad at the same time. It just depends. Which I think, in my opinion, could be a good thing. But um, let me see. Um, oh, wait a minute. Is this the Electro from the Tom Holland movie? I just get him okay. He wasn't he wasn't too much special, but he wasn't bad though. But the Hobgoblin though, from the Andrew universe, I actually give him good. but he wasn't great or elite, but he was good. But sound like the MCU fans and Spider-Man fans come from me all they want to, but he was just good. The Electro from the MC the for Sonyverse was just okay, but the Electro from the MCU movie No Way Home had moved him up from okay to good. It's not this Electro now. It's not this Electro right here. Now the reason why I put it on good, I put it at the it because of No Way Home. The reason why I move him up to the good. It sound like some people might not want to hear it, but that's what if it wasn't for No Way Home, I probably put him at bad or just okay. But it's ain't no Way Home and booster. That's just my opinion of it, but which I think could be a good or a bad thing, but everybody different though. Everybody different. That the next one, Tombstone, this Venom right here, I like the Venom viciousness though. I give this one he better than Electro and Hobgoblin, but the Venom itself was actually I'll put that great though. That Venom. Okay. I'll put it okay then. This Tombstone. Wait a minute, this one right. I just put Tombstone right here was just okay, but not the best. Hmm. The movies just make these villains look bad though. That's the problem because that's what if it wasn't for the bad movies. If the movie was better, then shoot, I think I would have moved these villains a little bit up. But the movies make these villains look so bad, and that's what kind of like get people not to like the movies as much and the villains as much because the movies was bad, and that would kind of get people to say to some why do you do this, do that, do the movies? It make the villains look bad in my opinion. It make the villains look bad, and that's the bad thing about it. Because the thing about the movie itself, I like some of the movie itself, but the villains and stuff like that look bad in the movie, and that's kind of the thing I like about it. But the thing about for me, the reason why I like the kind of stuff I did like about it, which I do like about the movies, everything like that, is it sound like people agree, disagree. You put scope in there, okay. This villain right here, I put it at okay. I put the villain just at okay because in my opinion, none of the villains can make themselves stand out. And plus, for me, I think this is actually a fair list in my opinion. It sound like people could agree or disagree with me, but sound like for me, and this list is fair. Sound like in my opinion, sound like people could agree or disagree. But we all know there were movies, shows, there were movies and shows like that. We all know we all know there's a movie, so there's that is that in my opinion is that the movie make the villains. If the movie is bad, in my opinion, the movie is bad, then the villains will look bad. I think, in most opinion too, if the villains look bad right in the movie. Sound like people, in my opinion, could say it don't, but that's what we all know that is true. If the movie is bad, everything like that, and average, it will make the villains look bad and average too. That is my opinion of that. And kind of like in my opinion, I will be posting this on Twitter too. And doing this part of the live stream, I will be trying to do my review on the Hawkeye show and my problems I got with it. Because this show right here, I actually like the Hawkeye. The Hawkeye show is not a bad show. I think, in my opinion, it's not a bad show overall. But the writing and the situations to put their people in, which I don't like, is bad. With kind of my opinion, which I like or don't like, but everybody is different though, in my opinion. But like for me, once I post half the list, it will be like people coming for me for saying this stuff, everything like that. But I pretty much don't care. But that's what we all know. Like deal with movies, shows, and everything else like that. Is like we all know, right? Dealing with shows, movies, and that's the thing I don't get. So why do this show not make sense at points? Because right, y'all in comments probably explain to me. It's like we all know, right? If that Echo was trying to kill Hawkeye, I know why she wouldn't do it at the end, and but we had Lena in the show too, and it seems to me she was she in, but then it's like I actually like her in the show. She was actually good in the show too. That's not my problem with the show either. But my problem is the writing. The writers of this show seem like they didn't know nothing about the character Ronan or Hawkeye. People probably can say they do, but that's what it did not seem like they know anything about the character. And it sounds like people right probably can try to cap for the MCU, but that's what we all know that they didn't know nothing about the Ronan character. Because you know the Ronan character, this should show Ronan being vicious, of him coming back around once he starts training this this person. Like I think in my opinion, it would have been better. So like for me, in my opinion, it would have been better, which I think in my opinion. Which I do think that some people like and don't like, but like in my opinion, it sounds like so in my opinion, some people might like it, some people might not. But that's just me and my opinion overall about the characters, everything like that. And like for me, right, in my opinion, some like these same MCU fanboys, they would call right certain movies in DCEU trash, but they don't judge their own movies the same way in shows. And that's my problem with them most of the time because you look at this. If you look at the Ronin show, which I think the Hawkeye show, they should have named it the him come from Ronin and going inside the and to him come back inside his which I think in my opinion, so some people could agree go for Vicious going back to his normal stuff, which could have been good. Sound like people could agree or disagree with that, but that's what we all know, right? Dealing with the movies, shows, and everything else like that. It's like it would have been better, which I think, in my opinion, it could have been good and better at the same time. If they would have found a way how to make, which I think, in my opinion, right, it could have been good, bad, everything between, which I think could have been good. Like in my opinion, sound like, but sound like, in my opinion, it seemed like, to me, to most people, and and what I am seeing, I'm just seeing a whole lot of excuses for these shows. But I see Lady Diaz, bro. I see you on next side screen. You coming? Which I do like it, in my opinion. Could be good, bad, everything in between. So, like for most people, which I do like that. Uh, which I do think some of these shows could be better because for me, I think the shows could be better and stuff like that. Some people actually think this show is actually a masterpiece, but it's not a masterpiece. And these shows, which I do think could be a real good, it could be like a measuring stick for the on the Moon Knight show. Because think about, for me, if this is like the Moon Knight show coming up, then yeah, that's what, for me, I got a big problem with that. I got a big problem with that if that actually coming on with the Moon Knight show is gonna look like this. Because look at the Moon Knight show is something like Batman. Is what that what everybody keep on saying online. He is he is Marvel Batman. If he is Marvel Batman, then this character should not be coming out with a PG-13 type. Okay, it should not be coming out with a PG-13 type stuff, which I think, in my opinion, shouldn't be. And it sounds like people could hate it or not hate it, but that's what we all know, right? Dealing with the movies, shows, which I do think could be better. and and sound like dealing with me, which I do like about these shows, movies, and stuff like that. Like, I actually like, in my opinion, if they bring the real Hawkeye and stuff out during the movies, or he gets a second season, because this show need a second season. I think, in my opinion, because if this show, in my opinion, don't get a second season, and that's gonna be a real bad thing if this show don't get a second season. And that is my opinion of it. Because if you look at the shows, everything like that, which you think near second season, don't get a second season. But kind of like for me, that this might be controversial to say, but it's like, in my opinion, I do think, in my opinion, that this show, the Cowboy Bebop show, do need another season. The Cowboy Bebop show do need a second season, which I do think it do. And it sound like people could agree or disagree with that, but that's what we all know, that I'm telling the truth about that. Because anybody, um, is that Netflix done? In my opinion, they done, in my opinion, green light other seasons, other shows that people didn't agree with, but it's still getting a second season. But you can't give Cowboy Bebop a second season. They didn't. They didn't even give Jupiter a second season, and plus, I like that show. And that show is actually good in my opinion. That show is actually good. That's like the other shows I like too. And sound like people gonna agree or disagree with that. But this Hawkeye show, I give it a 3.5 to a 4, a 3.5 to a 4 stars out of 5. But the thing about it, the things I didn't like about the show sound like the same things I did like about at the same time. Because the thing about it, I did like the Haley Starfire character, and that kind of surprised me that I actually like her because we all know, right? Dealing with MCU sidekick characters is that deal with me. I did actually like it, in my opinion, and it sounds like people could agree or disagree with me on that, but that's what. And it sounds like sidekick characters and stuff like that is like I don't like some of them. Some of them be bad, some of them be good, which I think, in my opinion, could be a good or a bad thing. But deal with me, which I do like, it sounds like the I did like Elena on the show. Elena was actually good, but the thing is, it was too much comedy at the end in it. Sound like sound like people could agree or disagree on that, but I do think it was a little bit too much comedy. But the comedy was in the show. I did like some of the comedy and stuff that was in it. It wasn't bad. The comedy in the show wasn't bad. Sound like most people probably would say. The comedy show wasn't bad though. That's not my problem. That's not my problem as the show. Uh, so just for me, in my opinion, like some of the comedy was in the show was actually good, but the thing about the show is like the slap, that slap in the Hawkeye finale when she get in my opinion, I say, God dog, I heard that slap. Because like I know, in my opinion, that was Elena from the Black Widow movie. She probably would have killed that girl. I think, in my opinion, she probably would have killed her. Rather be like it or not, she would have killed that girl. In my opinion, and that is my opinion on that. Sound like, so in my opinion, people could agree or disagree with that. But you and me both know. Yeah, I can agree and disagree, but that's what we all know that I'm right on that. But sound like me, in my opinion, dealing with the characters, everything like that. It's like we all know, right? We all know dealing with characters, everything like that. In shows, I think the Hawkeye character is one of the most under utilized. I think, and it sounds like people probably can say he's not, but that's what we all know, that Hawkeye is one of the most underutilized character in MCU history, and he is actually, in my opinion, good. If anybody new in the chat, then y'all can sub and like the channel. If anybody new, which I do like, dealing with shows, movies, and everything else, which I do like. Um, um, this my overall, my dealing with this show, like that fight in between Kate Bishop or something like that. Man, that Kate Bishop fight wasn't bad, but the thing is, like, shouldn't she have been injured in that fight and stuff like that? Because if they have a Hawkeye season 2, they need to show her having injuries at the end of the show and stuff like that. I think, in my opinion, it will make it more realistic and make the season a little bit better. But in my opinion, he got beat by a trick arrow, which I don't got a problem with him getting beat. But the problem is, make the fight more realistic. Her just use her speed against him, use her speed and brain against him, and that would have been like, if they would have bad written that, then people wouldn't have so much of a problem with it. I think, in my opinion, but that's just me in my opinion about it. And kind of like the next thing that the the next thing that I got me doing a review on this channel, if y'all up for it, is the Matrix. Because like the Matrix and stuff, everything like that, in my opinion, the Matrix right here is actually good. And this Morpheus right here in the movie was actually good in the movie. The Morpheus in this movie was actually good. That I like the Morpheus, and plus I like some of the characters in the movie. And plus the movie is not trash like everybody's saying. Because like in my opinion, everybody who's saying this movie trash don't know the Matrix franchise. Can you look at the Matrix franchise? If y'all know the Matrix franchise as a whole, then y'all would know that y'all know Matrix franchise as a whole, then you would know as a whole, the Matrix franchise is that you actually know that the characters, everything like that, is good, because you can't get a Matrix franchise without the Matrix being complicated. That's the nature of the Matrix. The Matrix always could reset, but the thing is, you can beat the Matrix. But then, in my opinion, it's like you got to find a way how to beat it. In my opinion, because you got to learn how to the beat the movie and the movie at the same time. The thing about, if you can't do that, then you is gonna be in trouble. Which I think, in my opinion, is that some people just don't understand. Is that the Matrix franchise? I think, in my opinion, was actually a real good franchise as a whole. Some like people could agree or disagree, but we all know deal with the Matrix franchise. Deal with the Matrix franchise stuff in it it is a Matrix franchise about complication. Is about you, in my opinion, finding meaning inside the franchise itself. Because you gotta look at the movies closely and look at what they're saying. Because if you look at it, the like I'm looking at this movie, that it had action in it. The action was good. The choreography was good, in my opinion. I like the action, choreography, and the storytelling wasn't bad, in my opinion. But the for the all people saying it's trash. The movie is not trash though, because the movie actually builds up what the franchise already put there. But the kind of one thing I don't get, it sounds like I kind of think they're trying to say that Trinity and Neo Bond make them the one. I think, in my opinion. But the thing is like I think, in my opinion, is that Neo is the overall one, but I think Trinity Bond with them, I think, make them stronger together. I think, in my opinion. I think that's my opinion of it. And that's what I'm getting. That is what I'm getting. If I'm wrong, if y'all got a different opinion about it, then then y'all can put it in the comment section, during the chat, anything like that on YouTube, Twitch, anything like that. Because like in my opinion, I do think right dealing with the Matrix franchise, it's actually like a good movie. It is a good refresher movie because if you look at it, that the person who made this movie know that people didn't how to look at this movie. Man, we all know this. We all know that dealing with this movie. We all know. We all know in this movie that it would have been harder, I think in my opinion. S- Some like some people could agree or not agree, but that's what we all know, man, it wouldn't have been better, I think in my opinion. It sounded like people be like I think in my opinion would sound like bad. I think in my opinion it wouldn't have been bad for me. In my opinion, if they would have made some of the changes, I think there were movies and shows. Like I think in my opinion, right? And stuff like that. That like I think in my opinion could be good or a bad thing. But it sound like for me, right? In my opinion, sound like for me, in my opinion, some people, my rating for this movie is a 3.5 to a 4 out of 5 stars. Be, because it could have been a 4.5 if they would have that if they would explain the stuff something better, which I think in my opinion could have been better. I think in my opinion if they would explain like in my opinion the reason why Neo was there in the Matrix, um, how he got there earlier, be because like in my opinion, I think the way there's a little too late to get there, but in my opinion, how they got there, how they explained it was actually good, and plus I didn't take off too much for it, but I still took out half a point. I would give this movie out of 4 out of 5, or 3.5 out of 3.5 out of me being a gentle 3.5, but since me being a fan, I give it a 4 out of 5 because cause right if you look at the movie and stuff like that, like the movie in my opinion actually like in my opinion give you flashbacks, give you the reason why what Neo going through in his head, everything like that. If you look at it, it's the Matrix, it's all in the head. The movie is actually good overall because you look at Neo, what Neo going through. Because think about it, because you could look at it like Neo think he's free, and Neo think that he living his life and stuff like that. Just until he start dreaming, and just until he start walking around and stuff like that. Like I think in my opinion, and plus some big actors actually was that show. Bianca Childress, I think I like her in this movie. She was actually good, and she was the little girl that was in the first Mistress movie, second Mistress movie during the train. And that was actually a good callback, a good actress to train for a callback. That was good. And that was my opinion of it. So like some people just might think it's not good. But you understand about it? That I like the man who played Morpheus. Plus I like Chance Wick, I think. The lady who was in Iron Fist, I like her in this movie. They call it Bugs in this movie. I actually like her. Because I like I think that was Jada. I like her in this movie. She actually played her part good in this movie. I like her. But so like in my opinion, like I do not I do not think in my opinion think this movie deserved all the hate it getting in my opinion. Because like in my opinion, when you try to release a movie same time Spider-Man No Way Home, then that was a recipe for disaster. But if you look at it, the Matrix movies were here before the No Way Home movie was there. But the thing about it, No Way Home will always undercut the Matrix movie anyway. Because based on the MCU and Disney, it was always going to undercut and overcut the movie overall. But the hate this movie getting, I think in my opinion, is too much hate, which is a bad thing. I think in my opinion, it's too much hate this movie getting, and this movie actually is a good movie. And kind of like for anybody who listening to this, go into the movie just with an open mind and stuff like that. If you gotta look at the movie, go with an open mind, and don't be listening to all these. In my opinion, how can I say this? Don't be listening to all these people who just they move trash and stuff like that, and half the people don't even know the franchise themselves. And plus for me, I know the franchise. I think the best of my ability because the first movie been my Neo finding himself. The second movie been my Neo fighting the system. The third movie, the third movie was about him making a big old resolution of him fighting the power and stuff like that. Resolution. But the fourth movie been about the system just had adapted everything like that. The system, the system I think had adapted, and plus I think the next two movies, The Matrix, is that Neo that is that Neo Trinity is gotta have to work together to find freedom for everybody else. I think, in my opinion, because you listen to the movie closely, the movie closely said it was a new power, and plus I thinking that the new Mr. Smith is the power I think that everybody talking about, or he know what the new power is. If the new Mr. Smith is not the new power, then that means that we got a new undercut program that is like in my opinion, sound like a new undercut program that could be like a new Mr. Smith, unless this Mr. Smith just not evolve. If you look at it, this Mr. Smith not evolved, he got younger and stronger, seem like, and he's still using the same moves. And this Neo, I think, in my opinion, he gonna have to adapt to the new Mr. Smith. I think, in my opinion, it will be a good thing. He learned to adapt. In the second and third Matrix movie, they gotta have adapt in this movie. If whether we like it or not, they gotta have to adapt in this movie and stuff like that. And it sound like people might not get it, but you gotta have to adapt. I think in the second and third movie, Neo and Trinity gotta have adapt. And that the fight the new power because the thing about it, if the boss and stuff like that, just not adapting and stuff like that, then and just in my opinion, it's gotta be a whole new power in Matrix because you look at it, the big old machines lied. I think, in my opinion, when they said that the people they didn't lie, but I think the big machines didn't keep their word all the way, and that is my opinion on it. Because you look at it, it was still people in powers. It was still the machines keeping people up in the dream world. But like in my opinion, stuff like that, like I think second or third movies is gonna be freeing people's minds. I think, in my opinion, who want to be free, and that is my opinion on that. That is my opinion on that, and what I think is gonna happen. Because like the second and third movie, it's gonna be like people freeing their own minds, and Neo and Trinity showing people how to free their own minds and stuff like that, which I think could be good or a bad thing. But like in my opinion, I do think the next two Matrix movies gonna be better than this one. It's gonna be better than this one, I think, in my opinion. It sounds like people might not agree with that, but I think next two Matrix movies gonna be better. But YouTube, This is my final thoughts on this movie. This movie right here is actually a good movie. It's not trash. Don't listen to all the crystal talks on trash or stuff like that. But that's what the choreography, the fighting, the story, and stuff like that. It sounds like a refresh to the first 2 or 3 movies. And the movies is actually good. Sound like people who agree or not agree with me. It sound like people agree or not agree with me. But we all know that during this movie, if they wouldn't have flashbacks during this movie, is that some people would not have understand this movie without flashbacks. And we all know this. YouTube, Twitch, my rate for this movie. My final rate for the movie is 4 out of 5. I like it. It's not a trash movie. Um, YouTube, Twitch. I'll see y'all later. This is Zill Nation 1 signing out. See y'all later.